Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khush aamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Begrijpelijk, ni hao, churashume, washwele, ohaya gozaimasu, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, привет, kaifa hal, hale shamat chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, suave, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the super duper talented Shahzad Khan
Knew it.
and Shiza Hashmi. Hello Shiza, how are you today?
I'm absolutely great, thank you for asking. How are you?
Well, I feel great. I feel energized. I feel as
As
if
always.
I do not have any fear in my heart as well. And it's because of the fact that, ladies and gentlemen, today, the people who've actually joined us for the show belong to different parts of the world. But what they do for living is something which we really need to take a look at.
Let's just say, all of them are fearless.
Yes,
That
they
is
are.
what we will definitely be looking at. But Shahzad,
Yes.
one thing. A lot of people out there might be wondering why we're in, sweaters and cardigans and whatnot.
Yeah.
Ladies
Because we
and
live in
gentlemen,
Islamabad,
yeah,
it's cold down
exactly.
here,
In
yeah.
the Twin Cities, especially in Islamabad, it's really cold out there. Especially for a person like me, I do feel super extra cold.
Yeah.
So we are officially welcoming winter here.
Well, that's great. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe that everybody gets quite a lot of options to wear in winters. And, for everybody who's, anybody who's actually fat, a little tummy, I think that they can actually cover it up with their jackets. You can wear some amazing scarves and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And it's great. And since you do not really have to turn on your air conditioners, your electricity bills goes down and
But
the
the
gas
gas
bills
bills
goes up.
yeah.
Yeah, and so whether winter or summers, I don't think that it's going to be light on your pocket. But other than that, I love winters myself. It's beautiful. And since I love riding heavy bikes, so yeah, it's better when it's winters because they do not warm up that much.
Speaking of bikes, Shahzad, for some reason, I don't know, I've always been so scared of bikes. Of course, riding them first of all, and even, sitting behind someone on a bike. I don't know, it freaks me out, man, just the
Okay,
thought
so
of it.
is it just the bikes
It
or is it
is.
anything else that actually freaks
It's
you out?
actually
as well?
just the bikes.
Just the bikes?
Really.
So how do you overcome that fear?
I don't, because I don't want it. It's so scary, to be honest.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very amazing and a good news for everybody who's out there within Twin Cities because this journey initiated, as Shiza has been mentioning, and for a day I was missing on the show too as well.
Yeah.
So we were actually in Karachi, then we moved on to Multan, then we moved on to Gujranwala, and it's because of the fact that the biggest stunt show in Pakistan is actually taking place. The biggest stunt show of Pakistan is taking place in all of these different cities. As you can see all of these visuals, and thank you very much, Mountain Dew, for giving us these amazing guests as well. But then at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, just take a look at it. Oh my God. So,
Is that you?
No, that's not me.
the one in the... Okay, before
No,
the shot.
that's not me. So, there's motocross and then there's drifters. There's a lot of stunts going on.
This is crazy, man.
It is not just crazy. I believe that, it's all about getting rid of your fear. It's all about getting over all of those things which actually stop you from doing or
Right.
achieving what you actually want to achieve in life. So thank you very much once again, Mountain Dew, for giving us these amazing guests. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Pakistan's biggest stunt show riders are over here in the studio with us
Yes, so
on
excited.
PTV World early in the morning. So with me today, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, he's never ever left my side. And the first time I actually met him, he kind of told me that this is how we're going to do it. This is the third time in a row that I'm doing it with them, but they are here for the fifth time actually in Pakistan.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, with me I have Jim Farlane. Hi, how are you?
All right, and you. Thank you for
it's-
having us here.
Thank you very much for
Our
joining
pleasure.
us. I just actually wanted to, give you a taste of my own work as well, because that's something which I have a passion for, and this is something which I love the most as well. But thank you very much for joining us all the way from South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. We have Jim with us. Alongside Jim, we have been joined by somebody who in the first year was our co-host, but then he actually thought that Shahzad and Jim can do the job very well. So I'm probably just going to stick to drifting and whatnot. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very glad that he's joined us from South Africa. He's none other than Mr. Mike. Hi, how are you?
I'm well and you. Thank you for having us on the show.
Thank you
Looking
very
forward
much
to
for joining
chatting
us.
to you guys. Yes.
It's wonderful to have you alongside Jim, ladies and gentlemen. We've actually been joined by somebody who's a Netflix sensation herself. She actually recently featured in a Netflix series known as Hyperdrive. She's one of the youngest female stunt riders in the
Wow.
world. She's none other than Miss Stacy. Hi, how are you, Stacy?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks
That's
for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. And this is how Stacy speaks, so it's perfectly all right. And while we are on the show, while we are on the field as well, so we really have to hold the mic very close to Stacy so that everybody can hear her. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by somebody who's actually got a background of drifting and stunts and whatnot. I mean, this gentleman in particular have actually done stunts for John Wick and for, a few films for
Wow.
James Bond as well. He's from Italy, and he kind of shows off as well that he's from Italy. He's none other than Didi Bizzarro. Hi, Didi. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. Very good, thanks.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. So let's get the conversation started. Jim, I actually want you to go back in time and let us know, how did it all start? Excess Promotions, Super Drift, drifting, and all of this gang.
Well, Excess Promotions started nearly 20 years ago. Okay. Myself and Mike met. I was working for IMG. We met at a rugby game, and we both said we don't feel like doing normal mainline sports. We want to do extreme sports, and started kicking it off with freestyle motocross.
Okay.
Met the likes of Nick DeWitt and some other talented riders, and started off with freestyle motocross. We dabbled a bit in skateboarding, BMX, and we became service providers for ESPN, for X Games.
Wow.
We helped with X Games for a numerous amount of years. That's where our relationship with Mountain Dew started.
Wow.
And we then supplied services to ESPN. They wanted us to go to X Games in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We went to Los Angeles, and we met with some of the rally drivers, and we actually met with one of the commentators, Apple, and we told him we wanted to start something with 4 wheels. We were good with 2 wheels. We wanted now something to do with 4 wheels. Yeah. He said, well, please, can you extend your stay? Come and join me in Vegas.
Yeah.
He said the magic word, Vegas. So we then extended our stay, went to Vegas and saw drifting.
Yeah.
And fell in love with it. Literally, as we landed back in South Africa, we went and got our 2 cars, the very same 2 cars we still compete in today.
Oh, wow.
But they've obviously been upgraded
Wow.
over the years that we've competed. And we just started enjoying 4 wheels. We had a 2-wheel background, went to 4 wheels, and started doing stunts and really enjoying ourselves.
Wow. It's
All right,
great.
that's amazing.
And what about you, Mike? So how did you become a part of the team?
Well, like Jim said, we've been there from the beginning together, and obviously this was an evolution of from events and promotions to tours like we're doing at the moment with Mountain Dew in Pakistan. So it's just been 20 years of evolution. Getting behind the steering wheel was just part and parcel of that evolution, and that's why we drift today, do
But
stunts.
But when we, laymen look at stuntmen, we always wonder, this is such an unusual career path, a profession. How did you guys think of coming into it?
So I don't think we actually planned it. It was
Right.
something that just happened.
Yeah.
And I think it's just taken its own course over time. So
And there's no going back.
no, well,
I
hope
don't
not.
think that they have more time to actually go and try something else as well. But what you're doing so far is fabulous. It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
and everybody's loving it over here in Pakistan as well. But before I move on to Stacey and Didi Bizzarro, since you are the lead man as well, what I want to know is your journey in Pakistan so far. This is the 5th time that you are here. And we've been to numerous and several other cities which I do not really go to. For example, Gujranwala. Gujranwala was very loud as well. But what about your experiences from the year you initiated with the process, and now that you're 5 years down the line, do you think that there's a progression?
I definitely see a progression. I see a culture. The car culture in Pakistan blew me away.
Yeah.
The fact that we've got so many car enthusiasts, race
Shazad being one of them
enthusiasts,
himself.
Shazad being one of them, and talented people. Mountain Dew bringing us over here, and our involvement in evolution with Dew, they always bring exciting things. They have. When we first bought freestyle motocross in 2013, it's evolved to us now bringing 4 cars. Didi doing 2-wheel stunts.
Yeah.
Obviously, Stacey, you've seen what Stacey can do. The drifting that myself and Mike do with some other stunts. So, Dew has never not provided something exciting.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we thrilled to be part of that evolution. The fact that we can now encompass and be involved with a car culture and see these guys, the hospitality we've received from the car community
Yeah.
in Pakistan has been amazing. You
Wow.
can see a smile on my face.
Of
Wow,
course,
that's
it
great. I feel
shows.
great too as well.
Yeah, and I've been seeing videos of you guys, all the shows that Shazad has been doing with you, and the response has been amazing because, to be honest, it's really hard to get families out there in Pakistan to hold such an event where everyone can enjoy. But this was amazing. And now, Stacey, I want to come to you because I really want to listen to your
And
story.
before you ask her any questions, she's
Okay.
actually known as Smoke Queen back in South Africa and in the rest of the world as well.
Oh, wow.
Because wherever she's drifting, all you can see is the smoke. That's it.
That's amazing. Okay, So you're the youngest in your game. How did this start? I mean, did you always want to be
And her
one?
father is over here in the studio with us too as well. Over there, yeah.
So
Alright.
my dad made me do it.
Okay.
So I was bullied a lot in high school and as an introvert. So he thought that putting me into motorsport would just help boost my confidence.
And did it?
And spinning being the cheapest form of motorsport in South Africa. So that was our ticket. And we just went up to an empty parking lot. He told me what to do. I got into the car and we just started spinning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then a few months down the line, I met Uncle Mike and Uncle Jim, and they groomed me, took me on a couple of lessons, and now I'm on top of my game.
Wow,
That's
that's
amazing.
great. No, but now when we talk about drifting, obviously because I actually happen to be a human obstacle, and I guess that I'm going to do it again in Lahore and Islamabad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Well,
sure.
yeah. So what I want to ask is that obviously when you're drifting, for people like us, who try on random roads without any kind of mentorship, we do not have that kind of control. So how do you get that control? Is it over time? Is it that you keep on doing it, or there's some physics involved in it? How does it all happen?
Well, it's simple. All you have to do is have faith in yourself and do it.
That's it.
Oh, all right. That's simple for a person like you who is amazing at the job. I mean, have faith in yourself.
Exactly.
But yeah, this
But
does.
let me move on to Didi over here
Okay.
because, so ladies and gentlemen, for all of the rest of the drifters over here, rest of the stuntmen over here, they're very different. They come in, they're actually going to follow whatever has been given to us that, 3 spins, 4 spins, 5 spins. Didi
Okay.
Bazaar is different. You just let him go and he'll do whatever he wants to do. So that's how Didi is. So Didi, let us know about yourself in the first place. You have a background of people from your family who've been actually doing stunts for Hollywood and the rest of the world too as well. How did it all happen for you, and how does it feel like to be in Pakistan?
So my background was my family. So I started when I'm very very young, because my grandfather started all the traditional of my family.
Wow.
So at 4 years they put me on a bike, where the other children go on the bike, on a small bike. I go on the motorbike. So
Yeah.
after that I just have fun with some cars when the other when my family doesn't see,
Yeah.
because I have 10 years, so very young for that. And nothing. I'm moving for professional stunt driving.
Yeah.
So I be involved in stunt double in a movie, and but what I really prefer is live performance.
Wow.
So-
Live performance is great. But you mentioning that you were 4 years old when you actually were on a bike as well. So I don't think that Italy and Pakistan are very different, because kids at very young age start riding bikes over here as well. But other than that,
Yeah.
now this is a question which is for all of you.
Okay.
So, and I believe that this is a message which actually needs to be heard by all of those people within the custom offices as well.
Okay.
Because what happened was when they came this year around, the last year they only had the FMX bikes with them as well, but this time around they actually brought their cars. Now, for all of those people who were actually with the customs, or I do not really know the department name, I believe that it was customs or FBR probably. So what they did was that they actually asked for 4 crore rupees of security so that they can let go of their cars. So ladies and gentlemen, we're actually trying to give Pakistan something bigger, bolder,
Right.
and better.
Absolutely.
So for all of those authorities who are out there, we definitely want you to cooperate with us, so that we can actually make sure that Pakistan is actually going to project the right image. We are going to project the right image.
Yeah.
And all of these brands which are actually working to make a better image for Pakistan, and we should give them an enabling environment. That's
No,
what it is.
absolutely, absolutely agreed. Now, this question is actually for all of you. I'm really interested to find out, has there ever been a stunt that you questioned yourself before doing that? You know what, here's where I stop. I really don't want to do this. Let's start with you.
Nah.
Yeah? Oh, wow. That is now fearless.
I'm willing to try anything. Obviously, safety is paramount.
Of course.
When we say we'll try anything, we'll try anything where it is detailed and planning. We'll go through every little part of what needs to be done, the planning for it. We'll go over it. We'll rehearse it. So when we say we'll do something, but I think we have skills we have belief in our talent.
Right,
Yep.
and a lot of effort goes down there
But
as
it is
well, right?
there's a lot of behind-the-scenes effort that goes into making a stunt work. You don't just drive a car hoping for the best, close your eyes.
Fingers
there's-
crossed.
Fingers crossed, we go through a lot of safety and disaster management. What is the worst thing that can happen? How can we prevent that?
All right.
So it's not just to, and this is for all the kids and people that want to do this. It is a lot of planning. It is a lot of time to make sure that stunts get performed correctly. And you know, it's not just you need the skill, but I think it's also the skill of planning. and
Exactly.
making
Right,
sure you're
practice and
safe.
experience
Yeah,
as well.
and
comes
thank you
with
very
that.
much for saying that, because Shiza, you know, the team we're working with, I mean, for all of those people who are at Mountain Dew or Bullseye or, you know, SSB, all of these guys, you know, they make sure that everything is planned. There's double one,
Yeah.
double two, there's ambulance on the spot, and then
Okay.
there announcement for emergency as well. So everything is sorted. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, there are situations which can be very untoward as well. And so I was actually put in such a situation. I've taken out that clip, and it was Jim and Mike who actually made sure that I'm going to be a human obstacle.
I
So
saw
what
the video and it sent chills down my spine. Let's take a look at this. Do we have it?
Exactly, yeah. So we have a video. Please go ahead, take a look at the biggest stunt show happening in Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, on 6th of October. Is going to be taking place in Islamabad at Jinnah Stadium, and I want everybody to show up. Take a look at this video and you will know for yourself.
That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great.
This is Pakistan's biggest stunt show in the history of Pakistan. As I'm standing still. It's all right. I don't know what to do. Come on, guys. Hey! Guys, I don't know what to do over here. Come on! It's just on another level. Make some noise, Karate! Oh my God, I haven't been through this, but thank you very much. Jim and Mike, you guys truly deserve a big round of applause!
Wow, this was insane, to be honest, because, I mean, I wasn't there, but I'm seeing it in the video. It was insane. Shazad, of course, these guys are stuntmen, but
Yeah.
you were nothing less than a stuntman over here. How was it for you?
Well, for me, it was a very different experience, and for the very first time, I thought that to earn money, you know, that's quite a lot you have to do in life. But other than that, you know, since I've worked with Jay, Mike, and the entire team of the motocross riders as well, and Didi and Stacey, for Stacey, I believe that it's the first time as well. So I had quite a lot of faith in them as well, because I've seen them rehearsing and experience. You know, they're very experienced, ladies and gentlemen, and there's no doubt when I say that they're the best stunt drivers in the world. It is for a fact as well, and I've witnessed it myself. Imagine that Jim actually told me that I might, you know, kind of nudge you with the bumper of the car, and I was like, come on, please don't do that, because you don't know how strong my leg is. But then at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, the same thing is actually going to happen on Sunday, this Sunday, which is going to be 6th of October. And there's one more thing which I wanted to say. So hats off to the boys from Karachi who actually lended their cars to the entire team. And since I don't remember the names, so if you remember their names, you can please go ahead and share their names, because they definitely deserve credit.
Right, shout out.
There are a few of the guys. There's a guy called Taha and Aman, and they were very willing to give up their cars for the shows, and they have been assisting us throughout the tour now to make sure that we can continue with the original plan and the original show, you know, with the drift cars and the bikes together.
Exactly.
Yeah, Osama with his RX-7, very nice car. So yeah, like what I said earlier, the hospitality that we've gotten from Pakistan and the car culture, getting behind an initiative like this has been amazing. It's so heartwarming to come to a country like this and see that involvement.
Yeah.
And it makes the shows even that much better.
Exactly, and you know, these words, they actually make me proud of the fact that I live in Pakistan as well. And
course.
once again, I'm actually going to thank all of you for joining us. It was wonderful to have you, but very quickly, if you're willing to give it away. So in the next years, you know, because this year I can see that there's a lot of changes. You know, you've made sure that it's bigger, better, and bolder, 4 cars, you know, 3 bikes and whatnot. So in the next year, do we have something amazing coming up as well? Is it already in the box?
It's already being in discussion. It really comes down to what we can bring into Pakistan. We need the help of customs and you know, to bring it really is dependent on the equipment we can bring with us.
Exactly.
Right.
We can bring so much more. I can bring a couple of trucks. I
Oh,
can bring a
wow.
couple of things, but it really comes down to what we can bring in and what
How
we
we
can
can
work
manage.
with,
Yeah.
and how we can manage that. But we have so much more to show you.
Wow.
Wow, cannot
that's
wait
great,
for
and
that.
We're definitely waiting for that too as well.
Just one question before we do head out
Yeah.
to a very short break. Stacey, you do inspire me and a lot of women out there. Thank you so much for being here.
That
But
does
this
not
question,
mean that you go home and start doing drifts and whatnot.
I will never. Trust me, I will never. But the question is for Mike. How is Pakistani food treating you?
Yeah.
I don't think Mike was the right person to ask the same question.
This has been very challenging. No. The food's actually very good, a little bit spicy for
yeah.
what we're used to, so we have our challenges.
Well, that's good. Stacey, how is it for you to be in Pakistan? This is your first time.
It's amazing. I love Pakistan, and it reminds me so much of home because my mom makes biryani and samosas and
wow.
naan. So I feel very close to home.
Wow, that's great. And you
That's
know,
amazing.
you were actually in conversation with Masood the other day that you actually had to go for shopping in Lahore somewhere. Did you go for that?
Yes, I bought a handbag.
You bought a handbag. Well, that's great. And Didi, what about you? What do you like the
Did you
most?
also bought a handbag?
Well, you know, somebody from Italy does not really have to buy a
Exactly.
handbag from Pakistan.
I
But
know,
then,
right?
at the same time, what is that one thing which you have loved the most in Pakistan?
Oh, the food.
The food.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
the spicy food. So
Okay.
I enjoy here. I think there's like the right place to find it.
Well, that's great. Thank you very
Wow.
much, gentlemen, and thank you very much, Stacey, for being with us. It was wonderful to have you on the show, and even other than that, it's always wonderful to be with you guys on the field too as well. 6th of October it is. Best of luck to everybody who's in here, and for all of those people who are out there, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going anywhere. We're just going out for a short break because when you guys will come back, we'll actually let you meet the rest of the team members, the FMX riders. You know, they're one of the best in the world. And it's because of the fact that I've seen them doing some death-defying stunts.
Wow.
And obviously, it's Mountain Dew, so you got to do something, dudes. All right, so we're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be
Right back. Good morning. Stay tuned. Welcome back to World This Morning, ladies and gentlemen, with the very energetic and fearless Shazad Khan and Shaza Hashmi, where today we are overcoming our fears.
Yeah. And to do that, ladies and gentlemen, we've made sure that over here in the studios, we have personalities who actually do something in life which is very death-defying. And there are things in life which you really need to overcome, but you know, it's just your head and it's in your head. So while you're training yourself, train your brain too as well. In the first half, we made sure that you're actually going to be in conversation with Jim, Mike, Stacey, and Didi Bizzaro, one of the best stunt riders in the world. You know, Stacey's even featured in Netflix series Hyperdrive.
Yeah.
And even other than that, you know, this is the 5th time that they're over here in Pakistan doing, now we've moved on to motocross, and we're going to speak about that as well, because ever since I was growing up, I was always very fond of heavy bikes, sports bikes, trail bikes, and whatnot. But to do the kind of things that they are doing, I don't think that I will actually have the courage to do that ever in my life.
Really?
How did they get to that point? And then what was the first response they got from their families when they told them, oh, we're doing backflips on our motorbikes? So, you know, it's a very different kind of life, but it's very exciting. It's and every time they're on their bikes, you know, while we are down there in the field, even I could see, man, oh, you know, whether he's going to make it or not. So every time that they take a leap, ladies and gentlemen, there's always a risk. And for all of those people who are out there who have actually been witnessing all of these visuals, please do not try this at home or out there on the streets as well. They are professionals, they are trained, they have actually dedicated their entire life to this business. So yeah, they deserve this kind of respect. And please make sure that you do not do that, okay? For all the Pindi boys who are out there, please do not do that.
I was going to say.
So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have got the youngest in the crew over here with us. And he's one of those people who actually makes sure that the crowd is cheering and pumping and is always asking for Dallin Goldman. Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you.
Yes.
And alongside Dallin, ladies and gentlemen, we have actually been joined by somebody who's number 2 most of the times. And yeah, so pretty much they're actually working as a team, making sure that the crowd goes crazy wherever they go. He's none other than Nick Devitt, or Sick Nick Devitt. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to
Good
have
to
you.
be here.
And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, the name actually is kind of different, and I can even relate it to a few people in Lahore.
Oh, come on.
I'm very sorry to say that, but he's one of the greatest, he's one of the finest, he's one of the first ones to take the lead most of the times as well. He's, ladies and gentlemen, he's from Sweden, and he's none other than Mr. Frederick, aka Frog. Hi, how are you?
It's amazing to be here. Thank you.
And thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you over here. And for my producers, if you guys are listening, which you are, I just want you guys to play that motocross jumps videos again so that everybody could actually see what these guys are capable of. But let me get the conversation started with Dallin Goldman. First of all, it's a very amazing name to, you know, say it out while I'm on the mic. Dallin Goldman. But how did it all started for you, your journey?
Sure, so more or less 10, 11 years ago, I was racing motocross, but the tracks were closed down due to maintenance, and my dad kind of surprised me and took me to Sick Nick's compound.
Okay.
And I hit my first ramp, and it all just escalated from there. And sure, 11 years later, all the progression, I've been traveling the world with Nick, and yeah, making a living off it.
Well,
that's
that's great.
amazing.
And do you make a reasonable living, or do you make a luxurious living out of it?
We need to know.
You know, it's pretty reasonable. I think it could always be better, but yeah, the busier we get, the better it gets, I guess. So
Well, that's great. And what was your father's response in the first place? But well, he took you to his compound, so is he interested in motocross as well?
Definitely, I grew up riding with him, so I kind of idolized him a bit, and then I guess I just took it to the next level. He always wanted to do freestyle, but I made it happen.
Wow, that's great. And here, ladies and gentlemen, we have the visuals as well.
This is
So-
insane, because before this we were on 4 wheels and that was so scary to look at for me.
Yeah.
And this is 2, man.
This is
oh
very
God.
okay. So it's like 20 meters of gap in between, 21 meters of gap in between the two ramps, Shiza, and then they
Okay.
go approximately as high as a 2.5-story building.
Oh my
Which
God.
is very high, and they do
It's
not have any
crazy.
seat belts on their motorbikes. All they have is confidence in themselves, and that's it,
Wow.
and years of hard work.
Mind's
Sick.
blown, man.
Moving on to you. So you have your own compound. So you are probably like the godfather of FMX over there, back at home.
Yeah, well, I've been around since the beginning.
Okay.
You know, I started working with Mark and Jim for like many years, probably almost 20 years ago. And you also used to ride the World Championship, and being from South Africa, we didn't have much down there.
Okay.
So I'd go to Europe, ride, and then bring the types of tracks, and I'd build it I lived on a big piece of land.
Wow.
So I built the tracks, and then a lot of the riders in South Africa now learnt from the track I built. They would come and ride at my house, like Dallin, and it was good for development, and I'd learn a lot from them, and they learnt a lot from me. And traveling the world it's been a dream. Been to over 50 countries.
Wow.
And seen a lot of interesting places and experienced a lot of great cultures.
Yeah, well, that's great. And ladies and gentlemen, we're definitely going to dig in a little deeper, and we're actually going to be in conversation with Frog after a short break. Don't go anywhere, because when you guys will come back, I actually want to ask, how many broken bones do they have? Yeah, because this is such kind of sport as well. So stay safe. Good morning.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a very fearless morning with Shahzad Khan and Shahzad Hashmi. And right now, we've come to the point where Shahzad is going to ask these amazing stuntmen how many broken bones they have in their body.
Yeah, but before I ask them that question, ladies and gentlemen, we even have with us Frog, Frederick, aka Frog. He's one of the first ones to actually take a leap every time we're actually opening the show as well. He's the first one to warm up. He's the first one to check everything as well. So he's one of those people who are actually in the front. He's like a frontline warrior. So Frog, how has it been for you to be over here in Pakistan? And then at what age did you start your FMX journey?
Well, it's amazing to be back here. It's my 4th time now.
Yeah.
And it's always a highlight of the year to come here and do the tour.
Yeah.
So it's amazing as always.
Well, so it's great. And how did it all started for you?
Well, it actually started, when I was a kid, I tried everything, football, hockey, but I never liked it very much.
Okay.
So my dad asked me if I wanted a motocross bike, and I said, yes, I'd like that.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
So I started racing, and I raced from 1990 till 2001.
Yeah.
And then in 2002, I started doing freestyle motocross, and that's,
So since 2002, you've been doing, freestyle motocross. That's great. That's quite a lot of years. You've almost dedicated, a quarter of your life to motocross.
You
All
think
right,
I'd be better, but, here.
Oh, come on. You're just being humble here. But listen, you said you almost tried and, spent your time with a lot of sports out there. And then you finally settled with this one.
Yeah.
How so?
Oh, I don't know. It's just, I love this.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started, because, in the beginning, I was not very good at it.
Yeah.
So I had to work for it.
Wow.
But I just kept doing it because I enjoyed it and I loved it.
And how is it in Sweden? A lot of people are involved in freestyle motocross, or is it just quite few?
It's not that many.
Okay.
It's a pretty small scene because, there's only 9 million people in Sweden.
Yeah.
So I think we're about maybe 10.
That's it?
Yeah.
And so then how did you get in touch with Jim and Mike and then, all of this? How did it all happen for you?
Yeah, I met Nick
Okay.
like 2004 and became friends with him on the World Championship Tour.
Wow.
And then, I don't remember the year, but I got to go to South Africa to do a show with Jim and Mike and drifting. And
Ever
we've
since
been
then.
in contact ever since, but I don't remember the year.
Well, it's
was
all right.
quite a while
Nobody
ago.
wants to remember the year because it's just a number anyways. And if the relation's going fine, I believe it's fine too as well. But let's start. Let's be in a conversation now. Let us know. Let all the people know what are the technicalities involved when you are freestyle motocross riders. You know, because I've seen you guys, you know, taking jumps from the ramp, checking the landing and whatnot. And Jim and Mike, they're always very cautious about the fact whether the ramps are in place, whether the air balloon is in place or not. So what are the technicalities? And you know, you're actually riding a 4-stroke bike, if I'm correct, 300 cc or 350?
350.
350. Yeah. So how does it all work? Because he's riding a 400 cc bike, 4-stroke, right? 450, yeah, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's still not faster than mine. It's 1300. Yeah, it's all right. Go ahead.
Well, freestyle motocross is a dangerous sport, you know. We get, like you said, 2.5, 3 stories in the sky. We're jumping 21 meters from takeoff ramp to landing ramp.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is dangerous, but, you know, all of us have started racing motocross, you know, on the motocross track, learning to ride our bike. And, you know, the bike skills definitely does help. And then, you know, we make sure whenever we go to an event or do a show, we always make sure everything's set up correctly. We measure the distances exactly. We make sure the ramps are all straight.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the weather does play a part. You know, when you 6 meters in the sky,
Yeah.
you know, the wind can blow you around or something like that. So there are a lot of dangers, but we always make sure everything's correct. Like Jim and Mike said, you know,
Yeah.
we make sure everything's 100%. We know exactly what we're doing, and we minimize the risk as much as possible.
Wow.
All right, so here's the thing. Like you said, weather is one of the factors that might affect your performance.
Yeah.
When you're in front of like hundreds of thousands of people, does the crowd affect the performance?
I think definitely. The louder the crowd goes, the more excited we get,
Yeah.
and that pumps us up to do our tricks even bigger each time.
Yeah.
We thrive off that. So
Has Pakistan been loud?
amazing.
Oh, okay.
We have been loving it. It's been some of our bigger crowds this year, and yeah, just loving it here.
Wow,
Which is
that's
why
amazing.
I'm actually going to ask you, which one's your favorite stunt? So, okay, let me tell you first of all the names I know.
Okay.
So there's Heart Attack, there's Tsunami,
Wow.
there's Whip, there's Backflip, and is there anything else which I'm missing on?
Sure, there's quite a lot of different tricks. Personally, I love doing whips and variation of whip tricks.
Okay.
I'm sure Frog agrees with me on that. It's just a crazy feeling, you know, being able to whip a motorcycle, get it upside down and
Yeah.
backwards, and then bring it back straight to the landing. So, yeah, Nick, he pioneered a lot in the sport and paved our way for us, especially with a lot of the backflip tricks, you know. So I grew up admiring his riding and trying to push my levels to catch him.
Wow, it's great. What about you? Which one's your favorite?
Yeah, well, like Dallin said, you know, I pioneered the backflip in South Africa. You know, it took a lot of hard work because I never actually seen a backflip in real life
Yeah.
when I tried to do it.
So you did it yourself in the first place?
Yeah, well, there were 1 or 2 guys in America, you know, back in, I think it was 2004.
Okay.
It was the first time I did it. And, you know, I watched a few videos and I need to try that. And, you know, it was just creativity and taking the risk myself. And, you know, so there's something special for that trick in my heart. But, you know, it's also taken a lot of casualties and a lot of skin off my elbows, you know?
Yeah.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, you look at a video and you think, this is what I'm going to try now. But did that ever go wrong?
Sure, it's definitely gone wrong at times, but you know, I just try to take baby steps and try and ensure that obviously I'm safe as
But
possible.
how can you take a baby step in a backflip? You know? Either it's a full backflip, either it's not. There are no baby steps. You just have to go through it.
So when learning a backflip, we would jump into a foam pit,
Okay.
which is pretty much a 20 by 10 meter wide pit filled with foam blocks, if I can say. And thousands of these blocks, I might add,
Okay.
so that when you're landing off the ramp 10 meters into there, you have some sort of cushion, so you're not hitting the ground.
Yeah.
So you're learning there. Obviously, if you don't make the full rotation, you land upside down, you're not going to get extremely hurt.
Yeah.
But there is always that factor, obviously, of getting hurt. But you just got to block that out and go for it, man.
Well, that's great.
All right.
What about
and
you,
what
Frank?
about, yeah, well, I mean, the hardest trick that you had to master.
Well, the hardest trick I would say was the backflip.
Okay.
As Nick did it in 2004, and I've went into the ground a lot of times on it in the beginning.
Okay.
And now, fortunately, not so much. So usually I come down on 2 wheels.
Okay, that's good.
But
That's
yeah, but that was a hard trick to learn because it was like the late 1990s. It was considered impossible.
Yeah.
And then one person did it, and you know, a lot of people came after because we saw that it was possible.
Oh, right.
So, but it was a big head game. Like it was hard to overcome that fear. You're not supposed to go upside down on a bike. If you do, normally you've done something very wrong. But now you're going to do it on purpose and keep holding on and just, yeah. So
Exactly,
it was a big thing.
and it's great to see that. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not that they're actually taking it a lot further, and it's because of the fact that what they do is that they actually do, all three of them, they do it together. So you know, one takes off backflip, second backflip, third backflip. So, and it is very dangerous. You know, even to look at it is very dangerous. God forbid if anything goes wrong with Frog, well, the rest of you are actually gone for life too, God forbid. But so how do you plan this, that, you know, okay, this is the kind of distance we really need to keep in between each other, and then just go for the trail?
I'd like to just add, you know, when we're doing these backflips, you know, we always make
Together.
sure to all together, but even by ourselves, we always make sure we got the right safety equipment.
Okay.
You know, we got special braces on our legs. We're always wearing good quality helmet and equipment. So, you know, and then the trust between each one of us, you know, we've been riding and doing these together. Like, I've been known Frog for over 20 years, and the same with Dallin. You know, we know exactly what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. So, you know, the trust and the bond that we have, you know, we can see exactly, we know exactly what they're going to do before they even do it. So.
And it's great. So before we wrap up, the only thing I'm going to ask you is that this is probably the third or the fourth time that you're actually going to witness Islamabad's crowd. What are you expecting from Islamabad this time around?
Yeah, listen, I just want the crowd to go
Yeah.
wild.
Don't worry, it
the
will
louder,
happen for
the louder they go and the crazier they go, we'll do the same. So.
Well, that's great. What about you?
Yeah, Islamabad's always been a really good city for us.
Yeah.
You know, we come here, we really enjoy the shows. And now adding the extra elements, you know, the cars. Last year was just freestyle motocross. This year we've got the drifting, the spinning with Stacey, and the drifting with Jim and Mike. You know, it's going to be an amazing show, and the crowd's is in for an amazing show.
Well, that's great. Frog, do you have to share anything very quickly?
Yeah, I just need to say that I love the people here in Pakistan, and they really get into the shows we do, and they cheer on and they scream, and it's amazing. I'm having a wonderful time at the shows.
It's great. And thank you very much for being with us, and thank you very much for taking our time out of your busy routines.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I fall short of words in expressing how grateful I am to all of these people that they've taken our time, even though that they were traveling from Lahore. And, you know, they actually had to wake up early in the morning. They actually have to go back to their track too as well. So there's a lot. But thank you very much once again that you actually considered me a team member too as well. Thank you very much, Jim, Mike, Stacey. And Stacey's father's not around. Thank you very much,
And I'd
Dallin.
love to be there on Sunday, as long as I'm a part of one of the tricks at least. That's a joke,
Okay.
come on.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and we are actually going to make her sit at the back of Dallin Gold's van motorbike and go for a backflip.
Oh, my God.
So she's going to drop hard, all right? And
Yes,
thank you very
I
much, Frog. Thank you very much, Sig. It was wonderful to have you. For everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, please lock your calendars for 6th of October for Moto Extreme. It's going to be at Jinnah Stadium. It's going to be bolder, better, and louder. And we're actually going to help you get over your fears.
Absolutely. And any other queries, you can ask on our Facebook page with the name of
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
Daily Motion or YouTube.
Well, this morning. Well, this morning.
And the repeat you can catch
5
at
past 11 p.m. tonight. So the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.